All right, guys, welcome back to, it's so weird to say this feels criminal.
Hello.
wearing my shirt.
Welcome back. I almost wore my shirt today and I didn't.
Wow.
I should have.
Just don't care about, but you made the shirt.
Well, I don't care about this show, obviously. So, maybe next time.
Well, we've got a case today. Okay, so Nikita doesn't know it. I'm telling her the case.
Mm-hmm.
If you guys don't know it, you're gonna all be in the boat together, okay? And we've got a case that so many things feel so criminal, it's not even funny.
Okay.
This is one of the wildest stories I've ever heard.
Oh, okay. I'm excited.
It is a doozy.
All
I
right.
do want to give a Hey Girl thanks to Shri for requesting it, and a Hey Girl thanks to Mark for writing this one up. And we used to do this Spotify show called True Crime Rewind. It was on Spotify Green Room, and now defunct app. But anyway, they got rid of it. But we did this case for that a long time ago, and the shows were a little bit shorter. So, oh my God, there's just so much into this. Okay.
So this is your chance to yap about it because that's what we like to do on this show.
So ready.
All right.
So ready. All right. We do have trigger warnings for murder, stalking, harassment, and prolonged emotional abuse. So please do note that.
Got it.
Let's just get right into it. All right.
Okay.
We're back to 2012.
Okay.
Dave Krupa, who is our main...
Krupa?
Main love interest.
Oh.
He had moved to Omaha, Nebraska, so he'd taken a job he'd taken a job managing an auto repair shop. So he had just broken up fairly recently with his longtime girlfriend, Amy Flora. They had 2 children together. They'd been together for 12 years. They never got married. She, I think, was working nights. He was working days,
Yeah.
They just sort of drifted apart after a while. Yeah. So she had moved back to, I believe that's where she grew up. So she was moving there. She took the kids with her. And he was like, well, if that's where my kids are moving, like, that's where I'm moving. So he moves there. So he is a mechanic. But he's got a job here in Nebraska. He moves into a 1-bedroom apartment. And he's got a lot of time on his hands because they split custody. So he joins a dating site, and he's like, I hadn't been on a first date in like years and years and years. They'd been together for 12 years. So,
oh my God, that would be like me or you trying to go on a first date. Could you imagine? I would not get second dates for sure. I wouldn't want second dates probably.
Well, that's true. I wouldn't want a first date.
That's also true.
There you go. So he sets up an online dating profile. He, starts looking around. I think the first one he joined was Plenty of Fish, which I thought was kind of funny, and it's just funny. But he finds a woman on there that he makes a connection with. Her name is Liz Gollier. And he said, look, when we first met and we started dating, I was like, look, I am looking for like a loosey-goosey type of situation, okay? I'm not trying to get into anything serious. I'm not wanting like a monogamous relationship. Like, you see people, I see people. I don't care. I just want somebody to have fun with, kind of the best of both worlds. Like
a friends with benefits situation.
I got somebody to go hang out with if I want to. Obviously do other stuff with. But we're not
serious. Together.
Yeah. That's not what I'm looking for. And
when they say, do you have a boyfriend? You say no.
Yeah, exactly. Like, so they start going out. They hit it off. They have a lot of similar interests. She's also got 2 kids from a previous relationship. They really enjoy hanging out together. They're dating. He's still dating other women. As far as he knows, she's still dating other men. It's not that serious, whatever. So around 6 months later, he's still in this like...
situationship. I think that's what the kids call it now.
Oh, yeah, that is true. That is a situationship. He's at work, and remember, he's a mechanic, and so this woman comes up, and her SUV is giving her some grief, and so she's like, you look like a mechanic. May you please fix my car? And he goes and checks her car out or whatever, and he's like, she just immediately struck me. She was gorgeous. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, this woman is like so beautiful. And her name is Cari Farver.
Oh.
So friends and family describe Cari as vivacious, as warm, the kind of person who everybody would notice when she walked into a room. People were just drawn to her. She is a single mother at the time of a 14-year-old son. She was a computer programmer and she was working at a big firm in Omaha. And Dave was like, just us standing there talking, like I felt this like spark, and we're standing close together because she's showing me something on her car, and like we look at each other and it's just like
we brushed hands.
Yeah, like it's like ooh. And he said he wanted to ask her out right there, but he was like, I'm at work, I have to be professional,
right?
I'm not supposed to do that, which is actually exactly how I met my husband. And
wow,
here we are.
True love.
I know. And he didn't ask me out at the shop either. He called me later. So I guess you're not supposed to do that.
But stealing people's information's okay.
Exactly. Yeah, I did sue him for that.
You should have, obviously.
Yeah. So she ends up getting her car fixed, and then he's like, obviously she's not coming back to the shop. I don't see her anymore. So then he's scrolling online profiles a couple weeks later, and he sees her profile pop up, and he's like, oh my gosh, that's the woman. That's her, Cari. Uh-huh. So he sends her a message, and he's like, hey, I know you. And she's like, yeah, I know you. And then they start talking back and forth, and then they decide to go on a date. And so they go to, obviously, Applebee's.
Obviously. Listen, Applebee's, their blondie brownie used to be top notch. Like when Sean and I were dating, there was not an Applebee's in our town. So we had to go to one of two towns that were both approximately 30 minutes away from us. We would just leave our house at like 8:30 at night after we had been hanging out for the day and be like, should we just go get a blondie brownie? Should we just drive to Applebee's just for a blondie brownie? And the answer is yes.
Yeah.
We should have, and we did. We don't anymore because the last time it wasn't as good, and it's very disappointing. They've changed the brownie. Applebee's used to be 10 out of 10 though.
They've changed a lot. Yeah.
I know. It's upsetting.
Gone downhill. Yeah. So they go to Applebee's. We can only assume they had a blondie brownie and it was delicious.
Of course they did.
And they hit it off. Dave is like, it was such a fun date. We just, it's like boom, boom, boom. We're just like right there, like all the stuff. And so when the date is kind of ending, he's like, do you want to come back to my apartment? And she's like, yeah, sure. So they go back to his apartment. They're like kissing and stuff. It kind of starts to escalate.
Okay.
And stuff. But before it went any further, Dave says, Cari stops and she's like, look, if we're going to do this, this is all it is. I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm good to have some fun. I don't want a boyfriend. I'm not going to be your girlfriend.
Yeah.
We're just going to have some fun. We're both adults here. Like, that's all I'm looking for. Just casual. And Dave was like, I have hit the jackpot.
He's like, perfection.
Perfect for me. He's like, that's all I want too. This is great. So he's like, of course. I was like, well, hell yeah. So,
what a dude answer. Hell yeah.
Yeah. So Cari's getting ready to leave now that their rendezvous is over.
Okay.
Leave his apartment. And he's walking her out, and Liz shows up to pick up some things that she had left at his apartment. So apparently they had like just broken up.
Okay.
There are a couple different things you can watch on it too. Like there's a pretty significant Dateline on it.
Okay.
Which I watched like years ago. And then there's a newer documentary on Netflix that you can watch on it. I feel like in the Dateline they made it like they broke up, but in the Netflix thing that wasn't as clear. So I can't tell if they just cut that out.
Liz is the first girl that he started dating.
Right. Yeah.
Correct. Okay.
Yeah. So she just happened to stop by and she's like, oh, hey, I have some things to get out of the apartment or whatever. And he's like, okay, fine. So he lets her in. She gets her stuff and then she goes home. And he's like, I didn't think anything about it. Like she just stopped by. It was no big deal, whatever. So Cari had told her friends after the date she had a really good time. She laughed a lot. She said she hadn't laughed like that in a long time. She wasn't sure what was going to happen in the future, but, you know, he's missed her right
date.
now. That's fine with me. So Carrie's employer was really, really close to Dave's apartment, like half a mile away. And Cari had a big project coming up where she was going to have to work really, really late hours. And she actually lived pretty far away from where she worked. It was like a 40-minute commute, but it was going to be like late every night. And so this project was going to take, I don't know, a few weeks or something like that. It wasn't like a year that she was going to have to do that, but they're having fun.
Yeah.
You know,
she's like, can I stay with you?
They're having fun. And like, so he's like, well, why don't you just stay with me while you're doing this project? And we'll, you know, fart around and have fun and like whatever. And she's like, okay, sure. So by that point, they'd only known each other like 2 or 3 weeks or so. She had a key to his apartment. He was like, I felt really comfortable around her. We were still casual. Like we were not like, we lived together. She was just like, staying with me.
Maybe because I haven't dated in a long time, but I feel like if you have a key to my apartment, that feels a step above casual to me.
I would think so.
You can't just be coming into my home whenever you feel like it. If we're just banging casually.
Right. Well, Cari, I think, feels that way too. So
okay.
They're just doing this like this is fun thing or whatever, but also kind of playing house for a couple weeks. Yeah. But casually. Okay. And then on November the 13th, 2012, Dave gets up for work around 6:30 a.m. He leaves. He gives Cari a kiss before he leaves. He says, I'll see you later.
Also feels not casual, but okay.
I know. But he's at work and he's like, it's like 10 in the morning or something. And he gets a text from Cari and it says, we should just move in together. And he goes, oh,
okay. Hang on.
I thought we were both very clear about this. I thought we were both like, this is not a serious relationship. He was like, I'm not ready to move in together. I thought you were just staying with me while you had this project.
They're already moved in together. Okay.
In some ways, yeah. So he's like, no, I don't think that's a good idea, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
So she texts him back and she says, fine, I hate you. I'm dating someone else. I don't want to see you anymore. And like, she kept sending text messages like, you ruined my life. I hate you. Like stuff like that. Like she's immediately like flips out on him for not wanting to move in together. And he's like, okay, this is weird. I thought she didn't want anything serious either, but I guess we've only known each other a couple weeks and I'm glad that I found this out now because this is I'm not trying to get super serious. So then
also,
he says,
don't move in with someone you've only known for a couple of weeks.
Well,
again, I've been out of the dating game. I don't know, maybe a couple of weeks is a long time to date someone before you let them move in. For me, I would be apprehensive.
Maybe they're following the lesbian plan because all of my lesbian friends say that the joke is, what does a lesbian bring to a second date? And the answer is a U-Haul.
Okay, well.
Apparently they move in real fast, so.
Okay.
It works for
maybe these are lesbian rules that we're playing by. I don't know.
I think so.
Okay.
So Dave gets home from work that day. All of Cari's stuff is gone. Like, you know, her bag is gone, toothbrush, all that stuff. And he's like, okay.
Where's the key, though? Did she leave the key?
I don't know. Nobody says anything about the key.
Well, we made a big deal that she had it. She better have left it.
Well, she may not have, and you'll.
Okay.
Okay. So, Cari was born in Macedonia, Iowa, and her mother, Nancy, was extremely close to her. Cari said that she wanted to be known for always having a smile on her face and for being a little bit crazy. Okay. Friends and family all said she was super, super intelligent. Dave, one of the things that Dave said really drew him to her was that she was so ambitious. Like, she really wanted to do more and she just had this drive. And he was like, I have a drive. She has a drive. Like, it's great.
Yeah.
And she had gotten pregnant when she was 22. The relationship with her son's father did not work out, so she became a single mom. And she was determined to raise her son, Max, by herself, make sure that he was always at the forefront of everything everything that she did, every decision that she made. And she had gone back to school to get a degree. And so that's how she became the computer programmer and all of that kind of stuff. Nancy says in Cari's mid to late 20s, she noticed a change in her daughter. She thought, well, maybe the pressure of being a single mom is getting to her. Cari ended up going to see a doctor, and she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. Okay. And so she saw some therapists. She was put on medication. Nancy said there were times that Cari would stop her medication. And she would tell Nancy, well, it just makes me feel numb inside. Like, I don't want to keep taking it.
Yeah. That's pretty common though. Like, yes. Right. With people with bipolar, because while you don't feel the low lows, you also don't feel the high highs.
Mm-hmm. And I think the medication kind of also
just kind of like, meh.
Yeah. And some people are like, well, I feel better. I don't need it anymore. Yeah. You know, so there's some of that too. So she would kind of sometimes stop it and then have to get back on it, that kind of thing. But by 2012, I mean, she was doing great. She had landed that programming job that she was really excited about. She was making more money. It would allow her to provide a better life for herself and Max. And Cari had asked Nancy, could Max stay with you while I'm working on this big project? Because again, she doesn't want him to have to, he's still bounce got school. Around. Yeah. But she's got to be there. Like, it was like she had to work so much on this that it was like, I'm just not even going to, I wouldn't even have enough time to go home and sleep really. So like, it, you know, just doesn't make sense. So Max, our son, stays with Cari's mom, Nancy, while she's staying with Dave for this job. Okay. So Dave starts getting these texts from Cari. I hate you. I'm leaving, you know, whatever. Nancy gets a Facebook message from Cari saying, I got a job in Kansas. I decided to take it. It's going to pay a lot more money. And I'm just not going to come back home right now. I just need some space, kind of thing. Okay. And Nancy tried to get in touch with Cari. She tried to call her. She was like, can you please call me? You know, like, what's going on? Yeah. But Cari wouldn't respond. And
that's suspicious.
Definitely weird. And so Nancy was like, okay, this is weird, but she said Cari's half-brother was getting married in a couple days. Cari was going to be there. So she's like, Max is going to be an usher.
I'll see her in a couple days.
I'll see her in a couple days. Yeah. But Cari did not show up and she did not call. So Nancy calls the sheriff's department and she reports her missing. And when she talks with them, she told them that she was diagnosed bipolar. And they were like, well, if she's off her meds, then it wouldn't be unusual for her to have this erratic behavior, this more aggressive behavior, this, I need some space. I'm just not going to show up to stuff that I would normally show up to or whatever. She's a grown woman. She's still texting and messaging and emailing.
She's allowed to run away if she wants to.
Yeah, she can disappear if she wants to.
I feel like this is one of those times where, like, yes, you need to tell the police if she has some sort of mental condition or like or medical condition at all. Like, you need to disclose that because that could put some urgency towards them looking for her. Like, if she doesn't have her meds, if she doesn't blah, 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 whatever. But also at the same time, like, when you tell them stuff like this, they're like, well, she's bipolar, so of course she did this. Makes sense.
Exactly. Like,
it's like a double-edged sword.
It really is. It's like, well, yeah, you should know this. And she also does take medication for it. So at some point she needs to be on medication. Right. But for the police, they're like, well, I guess she just, you know, she just off her meds and doing crazy stuff, whatever. So the police kind of like wrote it off with Nancy.
Love it.
But for Dave, he started getting increasingly more like aggressive, angry, and like constant messages from Cari. And he's like, and emails. And he's like, oh my gosh, like this woman will like, not leave ridiculous. Me alone now. And she also started talking about Liz, because remember, Liz had showed up to pick up stuff from his apartment or whatever. Cari briefly saw her. They didn't meet. They didn't talk, like, nothing like that. But they saw each other. And so she started to focus a lot of her attention on Liz, and she would talk about her. And he's like, this is so weird because, like,
what? We are casual. We weren't living together at the time that you saw her. Why? Why?
And she was showing up to pick up stuff because we'd broken up, like, whatever.
Yeah.
But then Liz reaches out to Dave and is like, I'm getting like weird messages from this woman. She's being really hateful. She's being really aggressive. And he's like, oh my gosh. She's like, I don't even know how she would get your number. Like,
yeah,
this is crazy. One day Liz gets home from work and somebody had gotten into her garage and wrote, like, spray painted on the door from Dave on an inside wall in spray paint. So
from Dave?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. We got to workshop our insults, but
yeah.
When you're on the spot, sure. I don't know.
Well, this is why planning is important.
Well, sure. Exactly.
But then it's premeditated, so you also got to be careful about that. So,
well, that's true. Yeah. So Liz files a police report and she tells them, like, okay, this has been spray painted on the inside of my garage. Mm-hmm. The only, they're like, well, who do you think could have done that? And she's like, honestly, the only person I can think of is this woman that my ex started dating. And I only saw her like one time, but she is really focused on me and she's sending me messages and I just can't imagine that it would be anybody else, right? So the police show up to Dave's work and they're like, hey, this woman's mom has reported her missing. Mm-hmm. But we've also got a police report that she may have vandalized somebody's home. Uh-huh. And so Dave shows them all the messages from Cari and he's like, dude, I haven't seen her, but she won't stop messaging me. Like, it seemed to piss her off that I didn't want to move in together. Yeah. And the police were like, oh, okay, well, scorned woman, right? Like, yeah.
Why are we dismissing this so many times? If you have conflicting reports about the same person, should we not find this person and figure out what is going on?
Well, not if she's a crazy woman.
Well, that's true. I forgot about that part.
See, hysterical woman.
Hysterical. Should have sent her to rot by the sea. That would have fixed it.
Exactly. And they were like, well, situations like this, somebody who's really angry about a breakup or whatever. Yeah. It'll fade out. Okay. It'll fizzle out. She'll probably drop it after a little while. And Dave was like, okay.
Probably. Yeah. Nothing bad ever happens in these situations. So
never.
Just hang tight, man.
Yeah. So Nancy says Cari still won't return her phone calls. Sometimes she'll get texts. Sometimes she doesn't. Max gets text from her. She's telling him, hey, I've got this job in Kansas. You're going to be moving there soon with me. You're going to go to school there. She didn't show up around her birthday. She didn't show up for Thanksgiving. She missed Max's 15th birthday. And her dad during this time got really sick. He passed away. She did not show up to the funeral.
And no one thinks that's weird.
Well, Nancy does.
Well, yeah.
But
no. it's not alarming to anyone else that her son as a single mom is her whole life and she didn't show up for his birthday.
No, the police were like,
or the holidays.
Hysterical woman off her meds.
All right.
Plus she's messaging all the time, so she's fine.
Obvious. Yes, and the messages she's sending, they're not erratic or out of character or anything to cause alarm.
Nope.
Okay.
So
got it.
Please stop asking questions.
I will. I'm so sorry. I'll be quiet for the rest of this episode.
They don't know how to do their job. Oh my God.
Sorry.
So Nancy is like, okay, well at this point I need to file for guardianship of Max because like where the is Cari at,
Yeah. She's essentially abandoned him at this point.
Mm-hmm. And all of her friends and family are worried.
Right, as they should be.
And then Nancy was like, the messages that she was sending me got increasingly aggressive and mean and saying, you're just trying to control me. You're a terrible mother. Leave me alone.
Okay.
I'm a grown up. I can do what I want. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Okay. So
cool.
Dave, though, this whole time, he's like, I'm not worried for Cari. I'm afraid of Cari at this point. Yeah. He started getting he would get more than 60 texts every day. I mean, it would be constant. 100 emails per day.
That's insane.
Just like.
Isn't Cari supposed to be so busy working on a project? How is she sending this many emails? Well, I mean, I guess maybe at this point this has gone on for a while, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goodness.
He changed phone numbers a bunch of times. It didn't stop anything. She would get his phone number. The messages kept coming to Liz too. And one evening, Dave gets a text that says, "I see you with your feet propped up wearing a blue shirt." And then she sent another text that says, "My favorite thing to do is stand outside your window and stare at you." And he's like,
creepy.
Oh my God. So he comes home one day from work. He sees a car in the parking lot of his apartment complex.
Mm-hmm.
And he recognized it as Carrie's SUV. He's
Interesting.
Like, that's weird. So he takes a picture of the car. He takes a picture of the license plate and he sent it to the police. And the police end up seizing the car.
Okay.
And they search it. They found one fingerprint on a mint container in a cup holder, but the fingerprint was not Carrie's or anyone in the national database. And so they're like, I don't know. That's weird. Like, I don't know why her car is here, but there we go.
Probably because she's a hysterical woman. Probably going to write this off too. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool.
They keep the car, but that's it.
All right.
5 months after Carrie goes missing, Nancy gets a call, and a man said that Carrie was at a homeless shelter. She wanted Nancy to come get her. And so the police meet them there, and they ask Nancy to wait outside while they go in. They come back later. Carrie was not there. So Nancy is just
how strange,
absolutely devastated. One of Carrie's friends also got a message saying, "Hey, I'm ready to come home finally." But then her friend was like, "Where can I come get you? Like, where can I meet you?" And she never said anything. Poor Max, her son is also getting messages from her. And one time he sent her a Facebook message and he just said hi. And she said, "Hey, little man, how are you?" And so he asked her 3 questions. What is my middle name? What was our first boxer's name? Who was my best friend as a little kid? And she never responded.
Of course
then she posted on her Facebook page that she'd answered enough questions. She didn't have to prove herself. I'm not missing. I just don't want to come home right now. Nobody understands that. Like, everybody leave me alone.
Okay.
So Dave and Liz, through this whole time, are getting thousands of text messages.
Mm-hmm.
And it's completely constant. Again, they're having to change their like, he was like, if my phone was on, it was getting constant messages.
Yeah.
And she's getting constant messages. And so we're like reaching out to each other.
Got kids too. So like his kids need to be able to contact him. The children's mother. Like it doesn't seem like from what you said in the beginning that they had a bad breakup or like weren't on speaking terms or anything like that. So I can imagine that they would be communicating with each other at least semi-regularly, right?
Yeah.
How frustrating and annoying for both of them if he constantly has to change his phone number.
Exactly. And like work, that's crazy. Like it's just
that's insane.
Yeah. And he would get messages from her that would say stuff like, "I saw you talking to this woman at work today. I don't care if she's a customer. I'm going to go after her too." Like it seemed like anybody he spoke to, she knew everything. She could see everything he was doing.
That's crazy.
He could not figure out what was going on. So Dave and Liz are, kind of like reaching out to each other for comfort. And he's like, the only other person that knew what I was going through was Liz, because she's getting all these messages too. And he's like, we'd be together and have to both just turn our phones off because they were just constantly, like, us being together seemed to really ramp things up, even more so than it already was.
Okay.
And so they were like, they ended up spending a lot of time together. And now they're kind of like back on again, sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then one day, Dave gets an email with a picture that looks like Liz tied up in the back of a trunk and saying, like, if you don't contact me, I know. She's going to be dead, like all this stuff. So he calls Liz and she's like, "What are you talking about?" "No, I'm not in the trunk of a car." And he's like, "Oh my God." Like,
thank God.
It was just getting crazy. So
I have a feeling a plot twist is coming, and I think I know what it is. I have some suspicions.
Okay.
I've had some suspicions for a while now.
Yes. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But it's giving a don't date Brandon vibe.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Okay.
So now we get to August of 2013. And by this point, Dave and Liz have filed like a bajillion reports with law enforcement because they're like, and the detective was like, "Dude, I would go like reverse stakeout Dave's apartment to see where I could see where somebody could be seeing what he's doing."
Yeah.
And see if I can find somebody. And he couldn't. So we get to August of 2013. This is 9 months since Dave and Cari broke up. Liz calls Dave frantically, and she's like, oh my God, my house is on fire. So when Dave gets there,
this has escalated so quickly. Oh my God.
So bad. There's fire trucks everywhere. Thank God Liz's children were not home, but they had pets, 2 dogs, a cat, and a snake, and all of them died in the fire. Like, Liz barely got out. It was obvious to investigators that this fire was intentionally set. And Liz is like, the only person I can think of that would do this is Cari. She has been threatening me this whole time. I don't know where she is. I don't know how she keeps showing back up. And
please
Dave
tell me she doesn't try to move in with Dave.
No, they don't.
Okay.
And Dave is like, I feel like this is my fault because Liz would have never met Cari if it wasn't for me. So he feels really bad. A few months later, and then like after the fire happens, Liz tells Dave, I can't talk to you anymore. Like, I need to get out of here. And she goes and stays with like a friend or a family friend or something like that.
Okay.
A few months later, the auto shop was vandalized. Somebody spray painted Dave beats women. And just like all kinds of stuff. And so he was so on edge, he ends up getting a gun for protection. Okay. And he's like, you know, Liz's house has been set on fire. All of her animals died. Like, this is getting so out of hand. So he gets a gun. He puts it in his closet on the top shelf. He's like, I'm not going to carry it around with me, but like, I've got it in my house if I need it. It's away from my kids. It's locked, whatever. So Dave on November 1st, 2013, gets a message from Cari that is addressed, quote, to my husband, with a photo of a knife and a message saying that she had been creeping around his apartment building.
Okay.
And then in January of 2014, a friend of Dave's who had known him since high school went to go visit him or whatever. They were in his living room chatting, and within a few hours, his phone was blowing up. I see you in there with that blah, 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 blah. He said later they were getting ready to go to sleep, and a brick comes through the bathroom window.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Dave calls the police. They come out and they take a statement. And so Dave and his friend went to Liz's place to check on her. And Liz and Dave were like, sometimes off and on still a little bit. But she had pretty much kind of like, I need to not be around you because this is just too, like, my kids are in jeopardy, you know, all that kind of stuff. So by this time, Dave's ex that he had the 2 children with, Amy, and they've been broken up for a while now.
Yeah.
She starts getting messages from Cari. And she's like,
okay.
So we are now to 2.5 years after all this start. 2.5 years of sending messages.
Insane.
And they knew each other for like a couple weeks.
Okay.
2 detectives in Iowa, where Cari was considered a missing person because that's where she lived, technically in Iowa, requested that the case be transferred to them. So they had seen the case around. They hadn't been involved in it, but they'd heard about it and they were like, this seems really weird. Let's put some fresh eyes on it, whatever. One of them worked it as if Cari was dead, and one of them worked it as if she was alive. And so they were going to come together in the middle and be like, here's what I have that says she's dead. Here's what I have that says she's alive. Let's see who wins. So they wanted to each track down everything that proved their own case right.
Right.
So we have no activity on Cari's bank accounts since the last day that she was seen.
Okay.
And remember, she was supposed to have gotten that big new job in Kansas, and she was going to make all this money and all that stuff. The text messages that were sent to everybody. Now, Dave would maybe not know this, but Nancy was like, there are so many spelling and grammatical errors.
Yeah,
and
that's
Cari
not how
didn't
she
do that.
texts. Okay, that was going to be one of my questions was like, she's texting all these people. Do these text messages come through the way that she normally would respond?
No. And Dave didn't know her long enough to probably really pick up on that, but Nancy was like,
also he's getting the brunt end of her anger in all of these text messages. So like if you're feverishly typing something, like, okay, maybe, but just talking to your mom, talking to your son, like,
it didn't make sense.
Also, text messages have spell check. Come on.
Well, not if you're Andrew. He had to turn spell check off because spell check was like, you're saying words and I don't know what they are. Like spell check couldn't even work, and he turned it off.
That's hilarious.
So could be that.
There's that.
But Cari was a good speller and she knew grammar, and Nancy was like, she never would have sent a text message that looked like that.
Yeah.
So they both actually came to the conclusion that we can't prove that she's alive. We can't prove that she's dead, but we can't prove that she's alive.
Which feels like something.
Which feels like something. She had a new, the new job that she had just gotten. She was working on that project that she was actually really excited about. She had a new house.
Did anyone call her employer to be like, hi, is she showing up to work?
Well, but the one text had been like, I got a different job and I moved. So I don't know.
I guess she didn't tell anybody what that new job was. No,
just in Kansas.
Oh, okay.
But they said, it doesn't seem like it doesn't seem like a situation where she would disappear willingly.
Yeah.
Could it happen? Sure. Especially if you're having a mental health crisis.
Yeah.
It could.
Uh-huh.
But it seemed
not likely.
Unlikely. So they start looking back through all the case files and they're like, okay, this Liz person is like all over this, right? Which was interesting considering that they'd only passed each other for maybe 5 seconds in a hallway.
I agree. Very interesting. What is she doing?
Very interesting. So they had a digital forensics expert in the department join them in going over the countless, because I mean, remember, it's like hundreds a day, right?
Yeah, all I was going to say, we're like in the hundreds of thousands of messages at this point, right?
Yes. Over a 3-year span. Dave had received around 15,000 emails. That's just emails. It's not even text messages and phone calls.
That's ridiculous.
At one point, previously in the investigation, Liz had given permission for the police to do a phone extraction. Okay. And so they had to go through that as well. And they're going through Liz's phone dump. And in that, they found an image that had been missed by the previous investigators.
Oh.
It was an image of Cari's car. And the metadata showed that the picture was taken about a month before the police ever located her car. So supposedly nobody knows where this car is. Nobody's seen it. But Liz has a picture of it on her phone.
Weird.
They also found records that Liz had called Cari's house 6 times previously using the *67. Don't think about that number. Just move on.
Okay, yep.
Prefix to disguise her phone number.
Okay.
And remember the image that Dave had received saying that Liz was tied up in a trunk? That's also on Liz's phone.
Huh.
And it was taken on Liz's phone.
Huh.
So detectives go to talk to Nancy. They tell her we've reopened the case. We don't think that Cari left on her own accord. And Nancy tells them, I got a picture of a check from where Cari had said that she sold all of her furniture and she wanted Nancy to let the buyer into the house to get the stuff that she sold. Because remember, she's like, I'm moving to Kansas. F all y'all.
Yeah.
I'm gone. Well, I'm going to sell all the furniture in my house and I found a buyer. Here's a picture of the check. Make sure you let this person in. The check was signed Shanna Gollier, which is Liz's real name. She went by her middle name, Elizabeth, Liz, but her first name was Shanna. How did Liz somehow get a check or buy all of Cari's furniture?
Yeah.
It's just very interesting. And then the detectives were like, wait a second. When we searched the car, we found one fingerprint, but it didn't match anybody in the database and it didn't match Cari. Now, they should have found Cari's fingerprints in the car. It's her car.
Should have been all over that.
Should have been all over it. Certainly was not. But there was one fingerprint and it happened to match Liz.
Who'da thunk?
So while all this...
I certainly didn't suspect that.
I know. So, well, I'm going to be honest. When I was watching it, I didn't. Because I was like, her house burned down. And the way Dateline did it, they tricked the shit out of me.
Oh, see, whenever you were like, she showed up as this girl was leaving, I was like, Liz did it. Immediately, I was like, she did it.
Yeah, I need to have my true crime thing taken away because I did not. I was like, wow.
Now who doesn't care about this show?
How did this happen? Yeah.
I know. You came in the shirt and you still don't care.
I mean, but I thought maybe the shirt would help me.
Well, It's not. I'm on to you.
It's not. So while all this is going on, Dave comes home from work one day and he sees that some has been moved around in his apartment. And this is not the first time that's happened.
Don't like that.
There's stuff moved around his apartment all the time. He knows she's been in the house, whatever. But this time, his gun box was moved.
Oh.
It's supposed to be up on that shelf in the closet. That's not where it is. And he's like, oh. So he opens it up and the gun is not inside.
Oh.
And he's like, oh dear God. So he calls the police immediately and he reports the stolen and he's like, holy shit, this is crazy.
Yeah.
So detectives talk to Dave and they're like, okay, so we can't tell you like a whole lot. But we think that you need to maybe
don't live at that apartment anymore.
Yeah, maybe be leery of who you talk to, maybe be leery of who you trust. Don't give information to anybody, even if you really know them. And he said, there's like a recorded call and he says, I'd be damn near moved in with Amy at this point because you need to be protecting your family and I would be with them as much as you can. And he's like, okay, got it. So in December of 2015, Liz shows up to the sheriff's office on her own accord. She talks with another investigator about filing a harassment report. But the detectives investigating Cari's case are like, oh my gosh, what a coinkydink. She just walked in. So they go to talk to her. And when Liz left, one of them went to her house and said that he was an investigator with the sheriff's office and had heard that she had stopped in. He said he didn't have a heavy caseload. He wanted to help her with whatever report she's trying to file. Oh. He kind of plays dumb and is like, what's going on again? You know, like whatever.
Sneaky.
And she's like, well, you know, somebody is harassing me. She's like, I think it might be this Cari woman, but now I'm starting to wonder if it's Amy, Dave's ex.
Oh, time to shift the spotlight.
Yeah, it might be her. Also, Dave's gun is missing, and so I'm really worried about that. And so the detective is like, oh, that's scary. Let me download your phone to get some messages. And she's like, yeah, absolutely. So they download everything from her phone, including things that she deleted because she thought they couldn't find that. And they jump into the data. While they're doing that, on December 5th, 2015, a 911 call comes in from a woman in Big Lake Park. It's Liz, and she's been shot in the leg. And she's like, oh my God, I've been shot. So this is 6 days after Dave's gun is stolen. She said she had gone to the park that night to just walk around and clear her head. She's walking. She stops and sits down on a bench. She said that as she was sitting, a female came up behind her and said, how do you like Dave? And then the woman told her to lay on the ground and shot her in the leg. She was shot in the thigh. It was a grazing shot at best.
Okay.
There was no permanent damage. She was taken to the hospital, and initially she was like, no, I have no idea who it was. You know, the woman was behind me.
Yeah.
But then she was like, actually, it was Amy. I'm positive it was Amy. I know it was Amy. So now she's decided it's Amy. She wants them to go arrest Amy. She's like, I know it's Amy. I know she shot me.
I know it. I know it's that. Go get her.
You know, Dave's gun is missing. Who else could have gotten that? You know, all this stuff. The police go and they show up to Amy's house. I mean, they're going to, you know, just verify.
Yeah.
But it had snowed. Amy's car had snow still on it. It had not been disturbed. The car was cold to the, like she hadn't left her house and she had no alibi. And so the police are like, good God, this woman shot herself in the thigh.
They just came to this conclusion.
Well, yeah, maybe you should be a police officer.
Maybe I should. I think I'd be very good at it. I mean, certainly couldn't be worse than what we've heard.
No, that's true. That is true.
So perhaps we should join the academy.
I mean, sign up.
They're recruiting all the time. Why not?
All the time. All right. So up to this point, Dave was skeptical that Liz was behind everything, even though the detectives had told him it was her, because he was just like, but how? Like,
because she's crazy.
Yeah. And he was like, the other thing was, it was so crazy because he was like, she'd be getting these text messages and emails and all this stuff just like I was when we're together. Like,
again, I say it's giving don't date Brandon.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah. And he was just like, who would do something like this? Like, it's absolutely insane. But the shooting kind of opened his eyes. And
good.
They had not arrested her quite yet. They needed total proof or more proof.
Okay.
But he was worried that he was like, if y'all don't do something about this, like, I'm gonna do something about this.
Yeah,
bitch.
we're gonna have to do something.
This is years that she's been tormenting him. And
yeah,
his
well,
family.
and now, I was gonna say, and now he's living with his kids and his ex-wife, and she's clearly started targeting them.
Yeah.
So,
and trying to have the mother of his kids arrested.
Yeah, that's
trying to frame her
crazy.
For a shooting. Like, insane.
Okay.
So we have the sheriff's office forensics expert. He had determined that Liz had signed up for upwards of 20 fake email addresses, all variations of Cari's name. What a creep. Eventually, they were able to connect the accounts and the messages all to accounts that were linked to Liz's devices, and then like her IP address at her own house. And like, now,
what a dumb.
I know. And if you think she's gonna be like, well, you caught me,
she's not. Okay.
They learned also that she was using an app that allowed her to send messages with a time delivery.
Okay.
Which would explain how she could get them when she and Dave were together.
Mm-hmm.
But again, that is still insane. Oh, and you know who else it's like? It's the high school catfish mom lady.
Yes.
Because these were, like, they did not relent. I mean, there were hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of days. Yeah. So, you know, her, like, when did she have time to do this? Her ass was sitting there and, like, schedule this. Do you know
That's
how
crazy.
long it takes me to schedule one post for Patreon?
I do know how long it takes.
And sometimes I still don't even do it right. So, at least once a week, if we're being honest. And so, but she's doing this hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of messages a day.
That's crazy. I would have to hire an assistant.
Exactly.
I would be like, hello, Craigslist. I need help. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I am harassing someone. And honestly, like I've taken it to a level that's just gotten beyond a one person job.
Well,
you don't have to come up with any of the content.
No,
I literally just need, I just need an administrative assistant. That's all. Yeah. Must be good at scheduling.
The post would be like, content creator seeks administrative assistant. Like, I'm the content creator. I got that on lock.
We got that. It's taken care of.
Yeah. It's just these, I simply can't be harassing myself and all these other people.
Exactly.
It's no longer a one woman job. Yeah.
Exactly.
Insane. I
that's wild.
I can't.
I've never been that committed to anything in my whole life. Also, let's just listen. I'm sure he's great. Okay. But imagine this much effort over a man. Embarrassing.
My God, Liz, embarrassing. There is simply
ain't no way.
No dick that is worth that.
No.
Not even a little bit.
No.
I mean, and then she shot herself. So about
absolutely not.
About 2 weeks after she was shot, they bring her in for an interview and they're like, hey, we're still working on this missing persons case with Cari. They told her they'd found remains that they thought belonged to Cari, which was a lie. And Liz was like, well, I don't know Cari well enough to know if anybody would want to hurt her. Like, I don't know why somebody would want to hurt her. But she keeps trying to throw Amy under the bus. But if anybody wanted to hurt her, it would have to be Amy.
Of course it would be Amy, but who she also doesn't know.
Right.
But yeah.
Right.
Listen, I don't know either of them, but I know one thing for certain. It's Amy.
Exactly.
Amy did it.
And it also doesn't sound like that Dave would have badmouthed Amy to Liz either.
Yeah.
In any of his recollections of, or like talking about their relationship, because I've seen several interviews with him now, and Amy too, they both were just like, you know, we really cared about each other. We grew apart. It just wasn't working anymore. They seemed to co-parent super well together. It did not seem like he was running around being like, Amy ruined my life, Amy this, Amy that, you know, like.
Well, it seemed like they were friends.
Yeah.
Who happened to have been together at one point and had children and were able to continue to be friends.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still, you can be friends with people and care about them and not want to sleep with them.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, girls can. I don't know if boys can or not, but girls can. So
it is a premise in When Harry Met Sally, and
exactly
turns out to not be possible for those men. But yeah.
Well, not all men.
Not all men. Yeah. So she kind of acts like, well, obviously it has to be Amy, all this stuff. So the detective is like playing along, and he needs to keep her talking, which she's happy to do. She loves to talk. And so he's like, look, we need your help, okay? Look, we want to make an arrest in this case. We want to arrest Amy.
Yeah, we believe you. It's definitely her.
It's definitely Amy. We can tell.
Yeah.
The problem is, though, we don't have her like admitting to any of it. So what we would need at this point would be messages from Amy talking about what happened to Cari, or like giving us something concrete that we can then go and say, yes, the only way that somebody would know that is if they were there.
Right.
So maybe go back through your messages, go back through your email, see if there's anything that you can find that could help us, because otherwise she's just out there.
She's going to walk free. Are you going to let that stand?
Exactly. And like
she's like, not on my watch.
Not on my watch. So a couple days later, Liz gets messages from Amy.
Weird.
Saying, I'm the one who shot you in the park. I ditched the gun. And they're like, this is great. I'm glad she's talking. Get more information from her, though. We need something about Cari. So a few days after that, a new email comes from Liz, supposedly from Amy. And it says that Cari tried to attack her, which would have been Amy. And that Amy then stabbed her with a knife. She stabbed her 3 or 4 times in the chest and then burned her body, putting the remains in a garbage can.
Okay.
So
wow. It's weird, is it not, that after 3 years of Amy allegedly not saying anything to anyone about this, and then all of a sudden Liz goes to the police and Amy is just ready to confess.
Yep.
She's got to get it off her chest, She can't live with this secret anymore.
Also, what kind of dummy doesn't know that you can figure out where the email came from?
Well, I mean, it's kind of like BTK, where they're like, pinky promise you can't trace this floppy disk. And they're like, we pinky promise.
And he's like, I trusted you.
I know. It's like that meme of like the cat at the table and then the woman who's like,
oh, yeah.
Like that, She's like, I trusted you.
I love those.
Yeah, me too.
So not long after that, they tell Dave, I think I kind of jumped the gun on this, but they tell Dave to move in with Amy or whatever, to start staying with Amy.
Yeah.
And Liz finds out about this. And so Liz calls the police department and she is devastated. And she's like, what is this? He moves in with her. She gets to live with Dave.
I'm sorry. Her ex-situationship moves in with his children, and her response is to call the police.
Yes.
Excuse me, police. My ex-boyfriend moved in with his ex-wife and children, and I'm upset.
I'm very upset because...
Please go arrest him. This is not allowed.
Yeah. She's like, she gets to shoot someone, and then she gets to live with Dave and be free? And again, like, Dave, I'm sure you're lovely, but my God.
I know.
But my God.
I know. I feel like at this point, Dave is probably like, I mean, I know I'm great, but like, damn.
Yeah. Like, I know I'm hot or whatever, but like,
why are you so obsessed with me?
Yeah. It's insane. And so they're like, and they knew that was going to like push her over the edge.
Yeah.
And they were like, look, we're getting a little bit, like those messages that you sent us, that's helpful.
Yeah.
It's just not enough. Like, we need more information that is definitive that only the killer would know. And she's like, how interesting. Let me, I hope that comes to fruition.
Please wait. It's going to take me 30 minutes to draft this email and schedule it.
Yeah.
I'll be back shortly.
Yeah.
Don't go on break.
I'll circle back.
Yeah.
So magically, Amy sends more messages that very same time.
Perfect.
And she says in this message that she actually killed Cari in Cari's car, which they've already searched. And remember, they only found no blood. They found one fingerprint on the mint container. So they go back to Cari's car and they search it a third time. And they end up pulling the fabric off the passenger seat. And there's a big red stain.
Oh.
And it's positive for human blood.
Oh.
And it matched Cari. And so Liz had a warrant for an unpaid traffic ticket. So that gave detectives in Omaha, where the crime had been committed, an excuse to bring her in. So once she was there, they were like, ooh, hey, we need to talk about Cari. Hey, how was Cari's phone at your house after she died? And how were your fingerprints inside Cari's car? And how are all the emails that Cari sent coming from the IP address at your house? And how did you have pictures of Cari's car on your phone before we ever even knew where her car was while she was still missing? And Liz is like, they didn't. I didn't. It wasn't. Yeah. I've never been in her car. And they were like, well, then how did your fingerprint get on? It's not. They're like, uh-oh. Yeah. Well, it feels like it was. And so she's like, I'm not talking anymore. I'm getting an attorney, which good. You should do. Fine. So they get a warrant for Liz's apartment, and in the search, they found Cari's digital camera and camcorder.
Oh my God. What a dummy.
That's some Jodi area right there. She's like, let me take pictures of this murder, but I'm going to put the digital camera in the washing machine. Idiot. Yeah. Which it didn't work for her, but anyway. So now they finally can arrest Liz, and she hired a pretty well-known defense attorney in the Omaha area who saw huge flaws in the case, namely being there was no body, there was no crime scene, there was no murder weapon, and there was no proof that Cari was actually deceased. They waived a jury trial. They decided to go bench and just have the judge make the decision. Which, I mean, I think was smart, because I think there is a lot of emotion involved in this case, and I just don't see a jury of people being like, are you like
But I also am not sure that Liz could have kept her together in front of a jury without losing it.
That's true. She's not well adjusted, I would say.
So like, I think a lot of the evidence that you've talked about has been circumstantial, and it does all point to Liz, and that's not great for the prosecution, because like you said, they don't have a body, they don't have a crime scene, like they don't have a murder weapon, they don't have any of that. But what the defense doesn't have is a stable defendant.
Right. And it certainly doesn't help the defendant's case that the information that led them to find so much of Cari's blood in the vehicle, which how the did they miss that the first 2 times? But whatever. That information came from Liz.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay. And also there was absolutely no evidence that Cari was alive. From that day forward, her bank accounts were never used. She never contacted her, it's just all of these things. But anyway, they also wanted it to end as quickly as possible, because they didn't want investigators to be able to find Cari's body before the trial was over.
Oh, yeah.
So the investigators talked to Dave. They asked him, is there anything that you've forgotten about? Is there anything else, anything like that? And he's like, hang on a second. I used to have a tablet where some of the messages that I would get, because they said, is there anywhere else that you might have received messages and stuff like that? Yeah. He's like, well, I have this old tablet that I haven't used in forever, but I did get some messages on it. And it was somewhere in his storage unit. He was like, I don't remember. Oh. So he goes to the storage unit and he finds the tablet. And there was inside of it a micro SD card, but it was blank. So they checked it to see if there was any deleted information on it, and there was. That SD card had been in Liz's phone, and it had thousands of images that she had taken and deleted. There were some that stood out, but one of them was at first hard to make out, and it had a red color to it, and it was human foot. It was a human foot with a tattoo on it, and it happens to be the same tattoo that Cari Farver had on her foot. It was a Chinese symbol for mother. And the way that the foot looks, apparently once you're deceased, the veins in your foot become very, very visible there. And so you see these lines, and it's like you can tell based on, a forensic expert that is a picture of a foot that is no longer alive.
Ew.
And it is the same tattoo that Cari had on her foot. That's not going to help you, girl. It's not going to help you. So her trial took place in May 2017. The prosecution and defense went back and forth. The prosecution lays out all of this digital evidence. They walk through, the timeline of events, how Liz was behind it all. The defense was like, okay, but you don't have a body.
And they're like, but we got a picture of a body.
Yeah. You don't have a murder weapon. There was no jury, of course. The judge was like, I am not persuaded by your argument, defense. And she was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison. And Liz says, the real killer is still out there, so you in danger, girl.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I will sleep with one eye open tonight then, just in case.
Interestingly, the real killer, I believe, moved away or has found something else to do because nobody has ever received any messages from them since then.
Gotcha. Okay. But they've never found
just a
Cari.
Coincidence.
That is a very big coincidence for sure.
Yep.
But they never found Cari?
No. I think she got rid of her like in a dumpster.
Ugh.
Or that's their
suspicion.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, she did say that Amy, not her, stabbed her 3 or 4 times, burned her body, and then put her in a trash can. So,
correct.
That's crazy.
Is that not insane?
Women be crazy. For a man. I mean,
for a
men
man
be crazy
that, like,
too.
In the very beginning was like, I'm not looking for anything serious either. It's not like he led her on and told her they were getting married and like, which obviously would not make it right,
but there was no misinterpretation of what was going on.
Like, look, if you can't handle a casual relationship, you gotta know that about yourself and move on.
Yeah.
That's insane. She has kids, like they've got to live with knowing that their mom burned their house down and killed all of their pets in that fire.
Yeah, that's wild. I mean, the whole thing's wild, but like...
Yeah, and killed a woman. Yeah.
Okay, so our mom is psycho. At that point, I would be like, is this genetic? Is this hereditary? Can I catch whatever she's got? Am I going to get that?
I use the same toilet seat as her many times. Oh my God.
I need, do I need to do some genetic testing to find out if there's a gene or a trait that's going to trigger in me one day? That's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
Also, man, that's a lot.
Sucks. Yeah.
It all sucks.
But that's it. That's the case. And, we'll catch you on the next one for something else that feels criminal.
Exactly. This did feel very criminal. It was criminal.
Super.
What also feels criminal is that we all did this for a man, guys.
That's,
Yikes. Yikes.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Let's reevaluate our life decisions.
I mean, I need to evaluate a lot of life decisions, so I get it. But,
Yeah.
Here we are. All right. Well, see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.